Hello, everyone. My name is Emma, and today I am going to tell you a story. My own story. If you are listening to this on Story with Allicia, please stay till the end. Maybe my story will make you think. Maybe it will make you cry. But I hope it will make you feel. Because this is not just a story about love. It is a story about pain, mistakes, and finally, understanding what love really means. I was 23 when I got married to Ryder. Everyone in my town said I was lucky. Ryder was handsome, tall, and full of charm. He smiled easily, spoke sweetly, and made everyone laugh. When he proposed to me, I thought I had found my forever. On our wedding day, he held my hand tightly and said, "Emma, I will never let you cry. You are my world." I believed him. Oh, how deeply I believed him. In the first few months, life was beautiful. We lived in a small house at the edge of the city. I cooked for him every morning. He would kiss my forehead before leaving for work. At night, we would sit together, eat, and talk about dreams, about the future we would build together. Ryder's parents lived with us, and I tried my best to be a good daughter-in-law. His mother liked everything neat. His father was quiet, and I respected them both. I cleaned the house, cooked their favorite dishes, and touched their feet every morning for blessings. They loved me like their own daughter. Everything seemed perfect, but perfect things don't last forever. It started slowly. Ryder began coming home late. At first, he said it was office work. Then it became meetings with friends. I noticed the smell of alcohol on his clothes. When I asked gently, he laughed and said, "Come on, Emma. I just had a few drinks. Don't be so serious." But those few drinks turned into every night, and the man who once smiled at me started shouting. He would throw things, accuse me of things I never did. If dinner wasn't warm, he would yell. If I asked where he had been, he would slap me. The first time he hit me, I didn't even react. I just stood there, my cheek burning, my heart breaking. That night, when I looked at myself in the mirror, I whispered, "He didn't mean it. He's just stressed." But it happened again, and again, until it became part of my life. I learned to hide bruises under makeup. I learned to smile in front of his parents, even when I was bleeding inside. And every night, I cried quietly into my pillow, praying for the man I loved to come back. One evening, Ryder brought a friend home. His name was Aaron. He was calm, polite, and soft-spoken. The first time he came, I made tea for them. When I served the cups, Ryder shouted at me in front of him for putting too much sugar. I smiled and said sorry, pretending it didn't hurt. But when Ryder left the room, Aaron looked at me and said quietly, "You don't deserve that." I froze. No one had ever said that to me before. Over time, Aaron started visiting more often. Sometimes for Ryder, sometimes for work discussions. But slowly, he began noticing my pain. Once, when he saw a bruise on my arm, I lied. I said I slipped in the kitchen. He didn't believe me, but he didn't push. He just said, "No woman should be afraid in her own home, Emma." Those words, they stayed with me. He started helping Ryder's parents, too, fixing lights, buying groceries, bringing medicines for Ryder's father. He was kind, not just to me, but to everyone. I began to wait for his visits. Because when Aaron was around, I felt safe. I felt seen. One night, Ryder came home drunk, worse than ever before. He shouted, broke a glass, and accused me of cheating, something I had never done. His eyes were red with anger, his words cruel and sharp. When I tried to calm him, he pushed me so hard I hit the corner of the table and fell. For a moment, everything went dark. When I opened my eyes, I was lying on the floor, my head bleeding, and he had already gone to sleep on the bed, snoring loudly, as if nothing had happened. That night, something inside me died. I realized, no matter how much I loved him, he would never love me back the same way. The next morning, I left the house. I went to the temple nearby, sat on the steps, and cried for hours. Aaron found me there. He didn't say a word. He just sat beside me and handed me a bottle of water. When I finally spoke, I said, "I can't do this anymore." He nodded and said softly, "Then don't. You deserve peace, Emma." And for the first time in years, I chose myself. I moved out that day. Ryder's parents begged me to stay, but I couldn't. I left a note saying I was safe, that I needed time. Aaron helped me find a small rented room in another part of the city. He didn't try to touch me or make promises. He just made sure I had food, medicine, and rest. In that quiet little room, I healed, slowly. I started working at a nearby school as a teacher's assistant. Every morning, the children's laughter gave me strength. And every evening, Aaron would call to ask, "Did you eat? Are you okay?" Those small questions meant the world to me. I didn't realize when friendship turned into love. It wasn't sudden. It was gentle, like sunlight after a long, cold night. He never made me feel weak. He made me feel human again. One evening, he said, "Emma, I don't want to be your rescuer. I just want to stand beside you, wherever life takes us." And that's when I knew I had fallen in love. Months passed. I heard Ryder had stopped drinking. He had lost his job, and his parents had left him because of his temper. One day he came to see me. I still remember that day clearly. The sun was setting, and I was watering the plants outside my small house. When I saw him, I froze. He looked thinner, older, broken. He said, "Emma, I'm sorry." I didn't reply. He continued, "I ruined everything. I didn't realize how much you loved me until you were gone. I thought being a man meant shouting louder, drinking more, controlling everything. But I was wrong. You didn't deserve what I did to you." Tears filled his eyes. For a moment, I saw the Ryder I had fallen in love with years ago. I wanted to forgive him, but I also knew I could never go back. So I said softly, "I forgive you, Ryder, but forgiveness doesn't mean return. We both need peace now." He nodded. He didn't argue. He just looked down, whispered, "Thank you," and walked away. That was the last time I saw him. It's been 3 years since I left Ryder. Today, I live peacefully with Aaron. We are not married, but we are partners in everything. In life, in love, in respect. We don't have a big house or a fancy car. But every morning, when I make tea and he smiles at me from across the table, I know I made the right choice. Sometimes I still think of the girl I used to be, scared, broken, desperate for love. And I want to tell her, you did the right thing. You chose yourself. Because love should never hurt. Love should never make you feel small. If you're listening to me right now, and you're in a relationship that makes you cry every night, please walk away. Don't wait for them to change. You deserve love that feels safe. You deserve peace. I learned 3 things from my story. 1. You cannot fix someone who doesn't want to change. 2. Pain is not proof of love. 3. Leaving is not weakness. Sometimes it's the bravest thing you can do. Ryder's regret came too late, but it taught him something too. I hope he's better now. I hope he finds peace just like I did. Because in the end, we are all human. We make mistakes. We hurt each other. We heal. And we learn. If you have listened this far, thank you. This was my story, the story of a woman who lost everything but found herself again. If my words touched your heart, please share this story. Someone out there might need to hear it today. This is Emma, and you are watching Story with Allicia. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because sometimes the stories we tell can save someone's life.